Are you done with the school? Like, that's it. You don't want your child going to public school anymore, and you want your child to go to private school? Did you know it's possible to get the county school system to pay for the private school? I'm Frances Shefter with Shefter Law PA, where we help families have a stress-free IEP experience. And I'm going to give you some pointers on how to do that. First, it's called a unilateral placement is one example, is that you decide you're going to pay for it and then you're going to go after the school system after. What you do is you do a 10-day notice or a 10-day letter that says, hey, school system, I don't feel my child's place is appropriate. I'm placing my child in this other non-public school in 10 days. The school has 10 days to come to the table to have a meeting to offer what they think is an appropriate placement. It could be that they agree and pay for the non-public placement, or it could be that they say, no, this placement is appropriate. So what do? Then you can file for due process. That's when we go to the court and you have to prove as the parent that A, the school system's placement is not appropriate, and B, that the school you are choosing is appropriate. So it's a little challenging because you have the burden of proof, and as the parent, you don't necessarily have all of the data that the school has. The other way is just to fight the school first. And that's what happens more often than not, is that you don't necessarily do the unilateral placement because parents can't always afford to pay for it. And there's something you need to remember. Unilateral placement and school paying for another school is not going to just any private school. It's a non-public school, which is a special education school, meaning that all of the students are special education students. So it's a more restrictive environment. If you've ever heard LRE, least restrictive environment, there's a continuum of services that the school system needs to offer, with being in general education with supports, having some pull out, being in some special education classes, full special ed classes, and then the full special education school. And so when you're proving that what the school is offering is not appropriate, one of the easiest way is that your child's not making progress. How is that easy? You look at the IEP goals and see if they're the same, or if they've gotten easier, or what's been going on. And you ask the school for the data, which most of the time they don't have. So it gets a little challenging, but it's still possible. So special education school, unilateral placements, they're all options. They're things you can discuss. If you are done with your school and you think your child's not making progress, feel free to reach out to schedule a 1-hour strategy session with one of our attorneys so we can talk through your case and see what the best option is, whether it might be a unilateral placement, 10-day notice letter, or just call the regular IEP meeting and see if we can push the school to do the right thing. I'm Frances Shefter with Shefter Law PA, where we help families have a stress-free IEP experience.